Because of the old-fashioned style of management in vogue here, Japanese bosses are actually untrained in how to give praise. Good job is not praise. That is a very vague reflection on a piece of work. Konnichiwa and welcome to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan. We are broadcasting from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo. Much more importantly, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. I do 3 weekly podcasts, and if you have an interest in presentations, search for the Presentations Japan series. If you're interested in sales, then look for the Sales Japan series wherever you get your podcasts. We publish this one, the Leadership Japan series, every week, Wednesday at midnight, Tokyo time. Today's show is brought to you by the Leadership Training for Managers course. In addition to all the solid leadership subjects, it also has an innovation project built right into it, so it really provides high value. Host it in-house or send people to our public programs. If you have a performance or people challenge in Japan, then contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. We've got lots of stuff on our website at japan.dalecarnegie.com, so check it out. Also, look out for the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show coming soon on YouTube. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is "それ誰のデジカメラ?" "それ誰のデジカメラ?" Whose digital camera is that? "それ誰のデジカメラ?" Whose digital camera is that? "それ誰のデジカメラ?" Whose digital camera is that? This is episode number 207. And today we are talking about where is my praise? The SPA magazine in Japan released results of a survey of 1,140 male full-time employees in their 40s about what they hated about their jobs. The top 4 complaints were: salaries have not risen because of decades of deflation, a sense of being underappreciated and undervalued, and a lost sense of purpose. Feeling unappreciated and underevaluated are both boss failings. This is the direct result of decades of neglect of the soft skills of leadership. The feeling of being valued by the boss and the organization is the trigger to producing high levels of engagement for your work. Japan is renowned for always scoring poorly on international comparative engagement surveys. The global study on engagement by Dale Carnegie showed that feeling valued was the key factor. The results for Japan were the same. Good to know that we have the answer at hand to improve levels of engagement. By the way, disengaged or hardly engaged staff are not going to add any additional extras to their work or be motivated to come up with a better way of doing things. Innovation requires some sense of caring about the organization. So work productivity and innovation both need higher levels of engagement to help us get anywhere. Fine, but so what? How do we get leaders who are raised in a different world of work, the bishi, that is relentlessly super strict school of leading, to now switch to becoming more warm and fuzzy? Telling them to do so is an interesting intervention by senior management that will go precisely nowhere. This requires re-education on what we need from our leaders. The most widespread system of education in corporate Japan is OJT, on-the-job training. How does your bishi boss change mindset alone? They can't. That is why training is required to better inform bosses about how to gain willing cooperation from subordinates instead of just pulling rank on them to drive their obedience. How to deal with mistakes is a key to the future in a society that hasn't worked out that mistakes are the glide path to success. Japan is a mistake-free zone, and there is a big disincentive to experiment, to try the new. Locating oneself in the middle of your comfort zone makes the best sense if you want to avoid all change efforts. If you want innovation, progress, then change must be embraced. That also means including risk, the risk of error. If the internal evaluation process is used to relive all the failings and insufficiencies of the staff, then don't expect your shop to become a hotbed of innovation any time soon. Leaders need to be helping staff lead intentional lives. Goals, strategies to achieve the goals, milestones, targets, all come as part of the package. This is different from being Mr. or Ms. Perfect and holding the team to standards you yourself can never possibly achieve. Encourage people to come out of their comfort zones and try new things requires a lot of communication skills. It requires feedback, but not critique. Telling people they are wrong may make the boss feel superior and good, but it is something that kills staff motivation and interest in doing things any differently. Good, better feedback is a better strategy. Tell them what they are doing that is going well, that's the good, and praise them for that. Tell them what they could do to make things even better. The point is communicated, but in a much better way, and will be received in a more positive frame. Because of the old-fashioned style of management in vogue here, Japanese bosses are actually untrained in how to give praise. Good job is not praise. That is a very vague reflection on a piece of work. Tasks have many facets, and just which part of that project did they do well? We need bosses to be specific about which bit was done well and how. We then explain how that task fits into the big picture of the organization and encourage them to keep doing that piece of work well. The boss in Japan has to do better. The soft skills area is where the greatest productivity gains will come from because hard skills education in Japan is already maximized. This is the next frontier of leadership. And if Japan can unlock the full potential of its worker population, we are in for an exciting future. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series, and we hope you enjoyed today's show, brought to you by the Leadership Training for Managers course. As mentioned, if you have a performance or people challenge Japan, then contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Also, remember to access all the good information we have for you on our website, japan.dalecarnegie.com. Check out my other podcasts, the Presentation Japan series and the Sales Japan series, wherever you get your podcast. Shortly, we'll be launching the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show on YouTube, so look out for that. In our next episode, we will be talking about a soft skills revolution required.